As an introduction, there's widespread speculation that 5G technologies pose a variety of health threats to humans. And if you do a Google search, you'll come across a whole lot of keywords that really bring up cause for concern. Dangers, concern, human. You can see on the right side, radiation. There's lots of things that come up in terms of possible health effects associated with 5G and other radio frequency communication technologies. And with, again, the primary health effects that are supposedly associated with some of these technologies includes cancer, skin effects, ocular effects, male infertility, as well as spreading and mutation of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is the cause of the global COVID-19 pandemic. However, many of these supposed health threats are unfounded, based on pseudoscience or science that is not can't really be replicated, misinformation, and fake news. Again, there's numerous health effects associated with 5G technologies, radio frequency and electromagnetic frequency, which have been reported in general and popular media. Of concern are cancer and skin effects, and many of the studies reporting alleged health effects, example electromagnetic hypersensitivity, male fertility, etc., are associated with EMF levels only observed possible negative effects under certain conditions, particularly when the EMF levels are higher than normal, and those emitted from 5G equipment, and under very, very specific laboratory conditions, very controlled, precise laboratory conditions. But these laboratory conditions do not necessarily reflect real-world conditions. So 5G equipment under real-world conditions should ensure that such effects do not occur. With regards to cancer, there's many different studies that have been done, some using animal models and some using human population level studies. Animal level studies show possible carcinogenic effects, but again, this is associated with higher than normal EMF levels and under very controlled laboratory conditions, which are not necessarily a reflection of real world conditions. However, human population levels, also large studies involving hundreds of thousands of individuals over a long term, does not show strong correlation between EMF and cancer, so electromagnetic frequencies such as those in 5G and cancer. However, as a precaution, despite the lack of evidence under real world conditions, I think further research is necessary just to confirm that there is no significant threat to human health. There's a few major conspiracy theories. One is that 5G technology or the radiation from 5G towers will weaken the immune system and thus result in increased susceptibility to the virus. The second one is that the rollout of 5G technologies contributed to spread of SARS-CoV-2 in many countries, and the third one is 5G causes mutation of the actual virus itself, allowing the virus to mutate and therefore spread. So many individuals may have heard of the 501v2 variant, which is from South Africa, and other variants which are now in the media and spreading rapidly throughout the world. The last conspiracy theory that we'll look at is that 5G chips will be included in the vaccines, and this will allow the government to spy and track citizens. So one of the first theories that emerged was between 5G and effects on the immune system, and what this purported to claim was that the EMF radiation from 5G would increase susceptibility to the virus by weakening the immune system. And this theory, if you look at some of the reports and some of the supposed evidence, it shares similarity with previous claims that sustained EMF exposure would cause cancer. So there's a trend. So if you look at, and as Professor has explained, the various mobile technologies from 2G, 3G, 4G, etc., this theory it takes different forms, and now with 5G, it's another form that it will sustain EMF exposure, would weaken the immune system, and thus lead to susceptibility to the virus. And again, so exposure to 5G networks would result in higher number of people that would be infected with SARS-CoV-2 and develop COVID-19. Now, there is some sort of there is a scientific basis for some of these claims, but that basis has been sort of mutated and adapted by people with nefarious intentions. So it's a scientific fact that a weaker immune system could increase likelihood of infection for a variety of diseases, not just SARS-CoV-2. But again, with COVID-19, was this really the case? Was there a link between 5G and COVID-19? And in July of 2020, last year, not too long ago, a scientific article was published supposedly showing evidence between 5G and COVID-19, and not just a link between the two, but particularly that 5G was actually responsible for producing COVID-19 in skin cells. So the title of this paper was called 5G Technology and Induction of Coronavirus in Skin Cells. It was published in a journal called the Journal of Biological Regulators and Homeostatic Agents. It was published by a group of authors from Italy. The corresponding author was Dr. Massimo Fiorinelli, and this is from the Department of Nuclear and Subnuclear Radiation and Physics. Supposedly the group had the relevant credentials, and they made some interesting claims. A few days after the paper was published, the journal which published this article retracted the paper, and the reason for that, which was given by the journal, was that after a thorough investigation, the editor-in-chief has retracted this article since it showed substantial evidence of manipulation of peer review. Basically, publishing scientific articles requires a peer review process. So other scientists in the field are supposed to look at the article, look at the evidence provided by the authors, and then decide if the article has enough scientific merit to be published. So this system, the peer review process, was manipulated in order to pass this article, in order to publish this article. But in reality, the claims made by the authors were actually based on pseudoscience and cannot be replicated by traditional scientific methods. And this article was retracted and is definitely a fake news article. The second 5G conspiracy theory is related to the global distribution of COVID-19, and several countries have had significant 5G rollouts. You can see the global map of 5G rollouts currently. North America, Europe have significant deployments. South Africa has 2 or 3 major deployments. Other countries have far fewer. The majority of Africa, South America, and Asia do not have significant 5G deployments. But if you look at the WHO coronavirus dashboard, which tracks COVID-19 infections globally, you'll see that many parts of the world where there are no 5G technologies rolled out, parts of Africa, parts of Southern America, parts of Central Asia, and other parts of the world, have still had significant numbers of COVID-19 infections and deaths. So there's really no correlation between the 5G rollout and SARS-CoV-2 global distribution. The next claim is on 5G and the mutation and spread of the coronavirus. Again, it's alleged that 5G technologies cause the virus to mutate. However, 5G millimeter waves do not penetrate the skin, and the virus is primarily found in the respiratory system. So 5G does not have the energy to cause mutation of the virus. And mutation of the SARS-CoV-2 occurs randomly as the virus replicates. The SARS-CoV-2 is an RNA virus, and as the RNA viruses replicate. They replicate randomly, and mutations are introduced throughout the genome. And if you look at the animation playing at the bottom, this is just the global phylogenetics of SARS-CoV-2, beginning with the 19A reference strain, which is the Wuhan strain that has spread throughout the world. And in the initial stages of the pandemic, this was the dominant strain. And as the virus spread and naturally mutated, other strains emerged. You'll see this 20B, 20C, 20D, which are in different colors, green and lighter blue. And so this is based on the natural mutation of the virus as it replicates and spreads from human to human. And this mutation does not correlate with 5G. That has nothing to do with 5G. And you see, as this animation progresses, you will see emergence of some of the other variants, particularly towards the end of last year, where the 501 version 1 variant, which is the one found in the UK, and the version 2 variant, which is found in South Africa, have started to emerge. And you'll see these variants, these new variants of the virus, have spread rapidly throughout the world and have now become the dominant variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, such that 19A, which is the original Wuhan reference strain, is now found in very few COVID-19 infections globally. So this just indicates the dominance and how the virus has mutated over time. And the last conspiracy theory related to COVID-19 and 5G is particularly with regards to the COVID-19 vaccines that have been developed. So in December 2020, a Twitter post claimed to show a circuit diagram of a 5G chip that would be used in COVID-19 vaccines, and the government would use governments would use these to spy on their citizens. But in reality, this was actually a circuit diagram for a Boss guitar pedal, so it's a musical instrument, and has nothing to do with the COVID-19 vaccine. So in summary, there are many claims that have been made with 5G and health. Many of these claims are based on conspiracy theories and pseudoscience, which cannot be replicated by traditional scientific methods. There's no correlation between 5G and certain supposed health effects, skin effects, male infertility, and electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Laboratory versus real-world conditions do not provide strong evidence to support the alleged health effects. And again, animal versus human studies produce contrasting results. So animal studies are generally smaller, limited number of samples. Human studies at populations level can be much larger and can run over a longer period of time, and these produce contrasting results. And just to be cautious, I think further research is required on possible effects of 5G on diseases such as cancer. With regards to 5G and COVID-19, there are several conspiracy theories. With regards to 5G weakening the immunity of a person, thus resulting in COVID-19 infections. 5G causes the virus itself. 5G rollout led to spread of the virus globally. 5G causes the virus to mutate, and that 5G will be used in vaccines to spy on citizens. All of the conspiracy theories related to COVID-19 and 5G are false, and there's no evidence to support these claims.
When we talked about the technology standards in wireless communications, they are highly regulated. That's why I say now that the conspiracy theories and the technology, the health concerns are actually being looked after in the standardization process that is going on. So that there is a research and development and innovation labs who come up with the technologies, and the research technology offices that, like the CSIR, are doing that. Industry research and development are doing that. And then what happens is that these are now peer-reviewed in a technology forums with publications that are peer-reviewed globally. IEEE is one of those organizations that is over 420,000 professionals, electrical engineering professionals, and also professionals with different professions come in there. The ITU is there, the Wireless World Research Forum is there, the Mobile Wireless Congresses are there. All of them are now looking into this research and then do peer review of the publications that are coming describing this research, and then they will be given the opportunity to answer the questions like the ones that now the health issues are now raising. And they are discussed in a big forums and also with publications that are peer reviewed. Then comes the technology standards. The IEEE has standards, ARM, Standards Association it's called. It does also take these research outcomes and makes them into a standard. But it goes through the process of proof of concept test beds, and it also tests interoperability between the different providers. Now different industry forums provide the proof of concept test beds, and they are tested for interoperability. And at the same time, now we engage with organizations like the ICNIRP to look into the spectrum areas, the radio emission areas, how they are formed. And the European Telecom Standards Institute also involved, the National Technology Industry Associations in the US, the International Telecommunications Union, and all of them are involved with testing these things. Then finally, the technology standards have to go through the ITU, World Radio Congress, and then where they have now in the industry trials, the information from the health, the World Health Organization is also there. The World Telecommunications Organizations are there. Mobile World Congresses are there. So all of this makes sure that we have checks and balances. It does not come, any technology that has been driven from the research and development does not come directly to a commercial standard before it goes through this. So that's why we say there is checks and balances of the research and the new technologies that come through the wireless technology standards. That, to make sure that we have some discussion document on health issues, CSIR has come out with technology and health issues, 5G technology and health issues, to debunk the myths, because there is a lot of myth that is going on in social media. And one of this is that there is a speculation linking 5G with COVID, and that is with the COVID pandemic. There is no such thing connecting 5G and COVID, because 5G is a radio wave. COVID is a pandemic, a virus pandemic. So there is no connectivity in that one. But people have associated that, and there are so many things happening in the social media, and we would like to debunk these myths, and we would like people to question those people who write this for research evidence. Whenever we ask to bring this type of conspiracy theories, to bring research evidence, they don't have it. That's what we need to look at when we judge the technology and the myth that is being created there. So if more interest is there, there is also a whole lot of information that you can bring in from this organization, which is an ITU organization, which is looking into radio wave impact on health.